All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to the three-digit World Cup 2026. We're here with our last match of the weekend in the quarterfinals, and also our final winners bracket quarterfinals matchup of the week. It is the United States versus Brazil. USA seed number 1 out of qualifiers, looking to keep up their dominant role and move on once more to the round of 16. I say dominant, but they did have a few close points last weekend, so against Austria-Hungary, so more so looking to keep things looking clean this weekend against Brazil. And Brazil, of course, looking for the upset to try and stay in the winner's bracket and earn that spot against Canada in the semifinals. I'm Dio, and I'm joined by Exia for two Canadians on the USA match.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I especially looking forward to this one, specifically just because Brazil is one of those teams that, especially considering that their match against, I'm just going to pull this up, do have a little bit of misconceptions, but their match against
Austria-Hungary last weekend.
Austria-Hungary, I believe, yeah. So that was an intense one. 6-3, couple of close points, couple of lost points to Austria-Hungary. But in terms of like scores comparing to United States do quite beat them on most of them. I don't believe they have a lot of slight edges over United States just due to United States' roster just being completely like death on every single skill set, every single map that we have in this pool. Especially it's only quarterfinals. You do have just the same amount of maps that we had in the round of 16, same best of 11. Until we get to the semifinals, we will ask the questions of how people will do in the best of 13. But here we go. Second pick for United States, but the first ban, possibly just banning out really good maps for Brazil, especially maybe a stream map like that Fremont 2, and especially that Nomad 2, but it is going to be that stream map on Fremont 2 from Age of Tyranny.
Yep. And not really too many surprises there, I think. You look at Brazil's roster, and they do have quite the good general tapping mechanics and Floium roster, so not too surprising there. This ban, I think, though, is, and especially a good free mod roster for Brazil as well, right? A lot of players that kind of specialize in either the hidden or the hard rock on their team. As for this ban coming out of Brazil, I think this one makes sense as well, specifically because it's 8.2 stars. It is definitely the hardest map in the pool. It is a skill cap map. And when you are playing against the team that is seeded number 1 out of qualifiers, a team that has 5 out of 6 players on the team as OWC second place players from last year, I don't really know if you want to face off against them on the hardest map in the pool. So despite it being a tapping map and despite Brazil having some good tapping players, I think that this makes a lot of sense as a ban for them.
Yeah, well, Nomad 2 straight out the pick for Brazil, especially their number 2 for the round of 16 stats. As you can see, 2.8 million, almost 3 FCs, but everyone's just choking at the very end, and especially on a map such as SpongeBob Square Wave Free L-Town. This map is just basic streams. Nothing else that I could really describe that this map really has. You straight up just have the streams, and basically that is the gist of the entire map.
Yeah, it's a silver boxer speed map. That's really all there is to it. It's a lot of bursts. It's a little bit of jumps, a little bit of streams. There's a little bit of finger control here and there, but it really is very, very straightforward. And that's, you know, I think a lot of tournament players at this point are very familiar with silver boxer maps. Kind of the next Nomad 5 mapper, so to speak, and has been for a little while at this point. Pretty well established nowadays as a very good kind of Nomad speed mapper. Keeps things pretty straightforward, a little bit of finger control, but you know, pretty much all focused on the speed and bursts here. And again, Brazil with a good tapping team, right? You're banning out the double time 2 against the United States and then picking into speed. And some people might be like, well, you know, what's the problem? Like, why are we banning speed and then picking speed? But I think that this makes a lot more sense than it might first appear, because this map is nearly a full star rating lower than the DT2, and that DT2 is banned just straight up because of the star rating and because of the overall difficulty of the pick. So Brazil here, I think, with a decent start in terms of pick and ban. The United States, I think, is favored on pretty much every map in this matchup. Taquito, Pez, Flamestare is a ridiculous roster for a 7.4-star no-mod speed map. Now, Hirata, Izzy, and Monty also very, very good speed players, but definitely you're favoring the United States on any individual map here in this matchup, and obviously in the overall match. Brazil, time to lock in for this first pick.
Number 2 picked by Brazil, bottom left. You can see your stats, the star rating. We did talk about 8.2 star rating on the DT2, but realistically, it's not really 8.2 stars, but this map really is 7.4 stars. Until Bancho decides to work, we will see the matchup. Hello, Bancho.
And we are into the map, apparently. Oh, there we go.
Flamestare has...
Yeah, there we go. Okay. It's fixed. I was going to say, I'm going to assume that the misses from Izzy and Flamestare there are Bancho. But actually, Flamestare did miss about 50 combo into the map, so slightly lower combo there, taking stock of things. Slight advantage to Brazil. 2 double S's and the full combo on Izzy versus other high combo FC or high AC FCs for Taquito and Pez, and slight missing combo for Flamestare.
Now into a little bit of more bursty section coming up here with the doubles and a little bit of the sliders. Until we get into those back and forth triples, maybe we can see some misses here, but everyone holding really strong here. And now it's just those triples here. Finger control. Is everyone able to keep their accuracy? And I don't believe anyone's going to miss here, as that is a very easy pattern to hold. But this is the next section that might get any breaks here, Dio.
And, not a break for Pez. That was Bancho. So still on the 5 full combos and 1 reverse stroke right now in this middle section of the map. And having these diff spikes in the middle is always a little interesting as we get through yet another clean section for everybody. But there goes Hirata, does find the slider break right halfway through the map. And that one I don't think is Bancho. It would have been fixed by now. So that is an actual drop. And there goes Hirata. There goes Monty. There goes Izzy. Exia. They were winning until they weren't. Brazil just completely falls apart. All 3 of them miss right in the middle of the map. And the USA all holds. They all still have combos. 2 FCs for Taquito and Pez. And, of course, the reverse choke for Flamestare. And Brazil, good effort. Good first half of the map. And then the second half, unlucky. Go next.
Unlucky, and especially that pattern. I was really looking at those triples that really have that aim flow aspect to it. Did catch every single player off of Brazil off. But now let's just see if United States can cap off the 2 FCs as well as that reverse choke from Flamestare. And they were just so immaculate in accuracy. Every single player at 99%. When will you ever see a scoreline like that with the accuracy such as this? And they were just shredding through this. And what can you do? It's United States. They're always going to put up scores in every single map, and Nomad 2 is no one like this. That is going to be the first map winning towards the United States. First break point already in map number 1. Pez dropping that FC, but you don't need to worry.
Very nicely done from the United States. Not, I mean, it's just kind of unfortunate, I think, for Brazil. They all, look at that, for Monty and Izzy breaking just within 10 combo each other, right in the middle of the map. Taquito the only FC by the end of things, but man, just kind of a rough middle section there for Brazil. With that early break from Flamestare, they may have had a chance if they were able to hold, but just not able to quite lock in for the entirety of the map. And the United States now up 1-0, up an early breakpoint on Brazil's first pick, and looking for a pick of their own. I really just expect them to pick whatever is the hardest map in the pool outside of that DT2, given the ban from Brazil. You do also have a very, very good aim control and reading roster in this team, right? When you have a roster that looks like Ethan Trick's Boshi Man and either Taquito or Decaton or Flamestare on any of these more aim control focused maps, it can be very scary to go up against something like that.
Yeah, very scary. I mean, Brazil, efforts are being shown. You do not out. Yeah, it is 1 break point. Maybe you could steal something back in this next pick that United States is looking forward to. Especially in a map like this one, you have tons of picks, and maybe aim is something that the United States goes into, and it's going to be the Nomad 1. It's basic aim, but it is a little bit more techy than your usual consistency maps that you usually see, especially on the AR9 and OD9. Note lock is kind of there. It's lingering for this Nomad 1, and any of these players that are missing on the tech sections for the Nomad 1 at 4 minutes and 6 stars, 8.3. It's going to be a good one for United States, and especially on the aim such as this one.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty good pick for them. You have very, very good density reading players on this roster. Takedo and Bashiman, as you see are very, very strong on this skill set. Could see Ethan Tricks come in for this as well, although I think there's probably some comfort for somebody like Decaton or Flames Terror on this as well. So I think you've got choices on a map like this. As for Brazil, I do think we're going to see more of the kind of hidden focused roster come out for this one. So potentially players like Schwick and Takeo, maybe Korean or Monty come in for this. I don't think Hirata comes in. I know for a fact they are more on the mechanics side of things. But I do think there's a couple of other more well-rounded players on the side of Brazil that could come in for a map like this. But I do think this is a good pick because I don't think that any of these players on Brazil are like specialized into something like this. Whereas I would say this is really a Bashiman map, right? AR9 full density aim. Some of the maps that he is most well known for within just OWC specifically are those anti-mod CS5 AR8 maps where he excels on the density reading and aim hybrid portions of those maps and is able to hold during those more aim-focused diff spikes. So I think this is a pick that plays very well into the strengths of the US. And we do just see Korean Maluko and Schwick come in here for Brazil. This roster is kind of the mainstay roster, I think, for Brazil here. Korean, Izzy, and Schwick. You'll often see Monty in as well, but Takeo and Hirata more on some of the more mechanics-focused maps, if my memory serves, from last week. We get into things here. Brazil looking to take back that breakpoint. See if they can't steal away a point on Nomad 1, a map slot that is very often thought of as more RNG within tournaments. So let's see if the coin turns up heads for Brazil. The USA called it wrong on this pick.
You can see how the tech is kind of layering out in this map. Schwick with the first break of many more to follow up. It's only going to be in the early days of this map until we find anything interesting, any other breaks that are going to keep this map on your toes. It's going to make it a lot more detrimental to some of these breaks, but the sooner we get into the thicker of the map or mid-sections, these breaks are going to have a lot more value due to score cap. But right now, 1 SS on Takedo, still the 2 FCs on Korean Maluko and Izzy, and of course the 3 FCs on United States. Everyone really, really good. Just the 1 break on Schwick is really the only thing that just happened.
Yeah, not much else going on at this point. Into the next KI time, we get into this kind of slider aim following section. Tons of slider ticks within these, and now into the streams as well. Nobody breaking on that slider stream into the space stream, but Korean breaking on the transition afterwards into more of this slider aim control patterning. And everybody else holding not a single other break from any of these players. And this is looking, very good for pretty much everybody, but just better for the USA. 3-way FC still intact with the first KI time behind us.
That SS from Takedo is still kind of disgusting, especially on the slider ticks, and hitting all the slider ends is not an easy task at all. But now in the midway section here, any breaks from all those huge combos except for Korean Maluko could be some huge score cap. And it's just nothing's happening. It's just a kind of a stalemate between these combos. You need like breaks from United States if you're Brazil, but that's a break on Schwick yet again. And that's on one of the bigger combos on Brazil. So Izzy, the only one standing against the 3 Titans of United States. And the slider sections are not letting up for United States at all. I mean, what is this? 3 FCs on a map like this one? Of course, you're going to expect it from them, as Izzy just waiting, praying for a break here.
Yeah, I saw some people and talked to some people who were a little bit skeptical about just how well the United States would be able to do this week because of some of the relatively close maps they had last week versus Austria-Hungary, and it doesn't seem like they're having much trouble at the start of this match, Exia. There goes Pez. Does finally find a slider break, but breaks right alongside Izzy on the exact same slider tick there. And, of course, Schwick and Korea Maluko also find the break, so that is a full team wipe for Brazil, and only one FC down for the USA. They're having a good time. They're having a good time with this pick. Pez, who cares, right? Map's over already. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, they're kind of good.
Having a decent time with this map, and I think they're going to continue to have a pretty good time with some of the other picks in this pool as well, unfortunately. I was just kind of doing some digging and looking at the history behind both of these teams, and of course the United States as the top seed this year, right? You're the team that's maybe predicted by a lot of people to win the tournament this year as well. So kind of digging a little bit into the history and seeing how long exactly has it been as we get into the end of this map. And wow, Taquito finally finds a break, but Bashiman still going on this FC. This ending section is really, really difficult, and that is a fantastic FC from Bashiman. Very, very nicely done. Taquito actually also an FC, by the way. That was a Bancho break for Taquito. I saw his full combo there on the spinner at the end, and yeah, that is a double FC for the USA. Fantastic accuracy for both of them, as well as Korea Maluko and Schwick. All four of them on very, very good accuracy. But yeah, that double FC for USA was wild. Very, very good stuff from them.
3 S ranks versus 3 A ranks. That's pretty destructive scores now as we arrive back to our map pool screen. Nomad 1, Nomad 2, both Nomad maps already picked and out of our pool, especially with the bans that we had for most of the tapping. There's not a lot of tapping on the board right now, apart from maybe you could make an exception for Hard Rock 1 and DT1 being like mechanic orientated. DT3 is mainly alt just because of just the alt patterns that it has with doubles and the little triples that you have to aim apart from that. But Free Mod 1, that's another pick United States go into. But Hard Rock 1 is going to be the Mech Tech map that Brazil is going to opt in for. Basic DJ, Dia, and Getty map with Fox 4 Rise on the song. And it's the Kaifin map as well. But is basically Mech Tech.
Yeah, a little bit more on the tech side for this one. This one is an older map, but a ton of really slider forward patterning on this, and I'm a little surprised they picked this after how the Nomad 1 went, but it is Hard Rock, and this is a team that does love their Hard Rock, so not surprised to see them pick into Hard Rock. Maybe a little bit more surprised to see them pick this particular map in the Hard Rock pool, but Brazil is a very good Hard Rock team, and so I can understand picking into this. And that's really what you do against a team like this United States roster, right? This is a team where, well, if you're picking into them, you probably just want to pick your comfort picks because they don't really have any discomfort picks, right? I was taking a look at the history for this United States team because we talk a lot about the USA and their dominance in World Cups and all that kind of stuff, but that really only extends to OWC. It doesn't really extend to 3WC. Last year, 2025, they were second place after a bracket reset tiebreaker. They were the winners. They were from winners bracket into grand finals last year and lost 7-1 and then 7-6 back-to-back in a double loss in the grand finals plus bracket reset tiebreaker loss to South Korea. In 2024, they came through the losers bracket finals, beating Brazil 7-3, before then losing to South Korea 7-5 in 2024. In 2023, they came into losers grand finals and lost to Hong Kong, so they were third in 2023. Of course, that was the first of 3 consecutive wins for South Korea over Hong Kong that year. In 2022, they did not even make it to the grand finals. They were not even in finals either. I'm trying to find where they were. I don't think they really played this year because, no, they lost to United Kingdom. They went 0-2 in 2022. Chalk that up to kind of a weird year. In 2021, they got third to Poland. In 2020, that was the last time they won, was 6 years ago. Was against Brazil in bracket reset, 7-2. So it has been a very, very long team since this, or very long time since this USA team has actually won 3-digit World Cup. They've been kind of at the top this entire time, but they've never really had that winning team dominance. And so kind of looking for it again this year. And I feel like you can't really trust that they're just going to win, right? Because they haven't in a very long time. And unfortunately for Brazil, the same holds true for them as well. That's the last time they were top 2 is in 2020. And this USA team has kind of been their kryptonite. They are the team that prevented Brazil from getting their win back in 2020, prevented them from reaching that actual grand finals in 2022 or 2023 as well. And it seems like they're going to be doing some similar things here because this is a full combo for Decaton to match Schwick and then much better recovery on the reverse chokes for both Flamesteer and Pez. And unfortunately, I think some tech issues from Discord's end, as apparently Discord stream is not looking good right now.
No.
So, oh, that is a lot of misses though. Korea Maluko, Schwick, and Decaton and Pez all miss at the same time. This is somewhat precarious. If Flamesteer had missed there, Izzy might have been able to carry this, but I don't think as it stands, Izzy is not going to be able to carry this, even if there were a miss to come through for Flamesteer, which there is not. Flamesteer holding on to this reverse choke and making sure that the USA takes this one over the finish line. Another breakpoint 3-0 up for the United States.
Apologies there. There was some technical difficulties on Discord. Just had to hit the big restart, but damn. Another breakpoint. That's unfortunate. I mean, you have actually good scores from the side of Brazil. I mean, 800K from Schwick. Izzy would also close to 800K, but you just have a Flamesteer pop-off as well as the Decaton on that 800K too, but it's just Flamesteer just slightly bringing out a little bit of a bigger edge on combo and getting up to that 900K, which is definitely unfortunate if you are Brazil, because that could have been the point, but it is going to be another break point for United States as they are going to bring it up 3-0 and an insta pick onto the Nomad 4, which is very self-explanatory map, but this is not the Nomad 4 you're going to be thinking of. It is the AR8A map, which is incredibly awkward. You have such awkward patterns, very, very little time to adjust to some of these really big changes in aim links. So this is a really good map for United States, and especially when you have players such as Bashi, man. This feels like a map that feels unlosable.
And surely you're just putting in the Bashi, Ethan, and Taquito trio here for the United States. I can't imagine they would want other people in on this map. Maybe if you're missing one of those three, you put somebody else in. We haven't seen Ethan Tricks yet, so maybe we'll see somebody else besides him if he's not here. Or maybe just because it's Nomad, you put somebody else in besides one of those three. We'll see. But yeah, this is, I mean, it's a great pick for the United States. It's a low AR map, and they have a very, very good low AR reading team. Brazil, pretty solid Hard Rock team, as we saw, right? Able to pull up within 100K, 150K of the US on that Hard Rock 1. Not so much on the low AR reading maps. They have good, well-rounded players, but no reading specialists like you would see or think of some of the players on the United States as.
Give a little bit of a shout out. It is a custom map by Zydorn for this Nomad 4, so props to them for being able to give their talents to making a wonderful map like this one, and especially some hit sounds by John Midori. So it's gonna be a great custom map to see for this last match, especially. So Nomad 4, let's just see Brazil's last player, and it's going to be Izzy. It's basically the same kind of roster that we saw on that Nomad 1. And it's Korean Maluko, Schwick, and Izzy. So all the aim players on the low AR reading aspects are all here ready to play. Let's just see if Brazil can pull out some magic out of the hat and try and get a breakpoint here. And if not, it's going to be a 4-0 lead for United States, as they are going to be very, very comfortable at the top here.
Yeah, I feel like they're probably going to have to pull out something good soon on one of these USA picks if they want to pull off the upset in this weekend. But so far, USA has looked very strong, right? Yeah, you were close on the Hard Rock one, but that's still a break point on your opponent's pick. You're still up 3-0. You're still flawlessing right now. And your opponent's first pick was not close. You had a very, very strong start on that Nomad 2. Plus, of course, the Nomad 1 was very, very one-sided. Early miss for Flamester to match Schwick on the side of Brazil. So, Brazil for now matching the USA, but accuracy in favor of the US. Despite this being only OD8, it is still a little hard to act with these rhythms and a little hard to hold on to some of the slider ends in this map.
Pretty much a stalemate with the combos. Accuracy is just keeping United States just up by a little bit, only by 50k, but there's going to be another break by Schwick. Nobody on United States going to relocate any misses to trade that, so it is basically Brazil on the back hand of this map with United States finding a break on Flamesteer. Schwick trading that yet again. It is 2 FCs to 2, so depending on a United States break is not good at all, as that is basically praying for miracles and absolute monstrosity breaks here. But Flamesteer breaking, that's a break on Izzy, and his only Korean Maliko to contest with Bashiman and Taquito here, Dio.
Yeah, I mean, it's already over at this point. Even if both of those FCs from the USA drop, there's just not enough map left for Korean to contest, and instead he drops right before the end, almost the FC for Korea Maluko, but 960k for Bashiman, nearly the 99 AC FC there. 98 almost for Taquito as well on 97.8 accuracy, still higher than anyone on the side of Brazil, and of course the second FC out of 3 for the US. Flamester having a worse time on this map than some of the other ones, but still beating out Schwick on the side of Brazil, just barely. And unfortunately, Korea Maluko and Izzy just not able to contest on that double FC. So the USA now up 4-0 in this matchup. Very, very well played to them. Can you guys shake just for once, says Korean. And yeah, I mean, it's a little tough if you're Brazil, right? You're thinking, yeah, god damn, man, what do we pick? They just beat us on everything. I want to see I want to see either a Hard Rock 2 or a DT1 for Brazil, though. I think if you're going to pick against the USA, you want to pick kind of into your strengths, or you want to pick something that's very straightforward. And I think the Hard Rock 2 and the DT1 are that, respectively. And indeed, they do go for the Hard Rock 2. Again, Brazil's a very good Hard Rock team. Hard Rock 1 was extremely close. We saw that 150k, in favor of the United States. That's the closest map so far. I think this is a great pick for Brazil.
It's gonna be a good pick. Especially last week on round of 16, they did get about 1.5 million, 50% of what you could get on a maximum team score. But especially in a Hard Rock 2 like this one, it's just precision. All you can say is very flowy, very just consistent precision map. Nothing very special of this Hollow Wings map here. When you think of a precision map, and when you think of something off of the songs like Asaka Nanatsu Insen Zakura, this is basically those maps that you're thinking of. Doubles, triples, maybe in a little bit of finger control in there sometimes, but good pick for Brazil. Let's just hope it is not all is lost and we can see a little bit of life out of them.
Well, look, I mean, if this one doesn't work out, you're cooked, right? Not only are you down 5-0, but it's USA's pick next. So I think if this one doesn't work out, you're just cooked if you are Brazil. But again, this was kind of it's sad to say, but this is kind of the expectation going in, right? Only 16 teams qualify for 3-digit World Cup. So this quarterfinals round, this is still really, top seed versus straight middle seed, right? And you kind of expect that sort of matchup to still be pretty one-sided in favor of your top-seeded teams. You don't expect teams to start really contesting them until you get, top seed versus high seed kind of matchups. And we're not getting that until next weekend. So this is kind of the expectation, unfortunately, for Brazil, is for the USA to dominate this match and to be out ahead on most, if not all, maps. But I do hope Brazil can take a point here, because I think it would do a lot for the confidence going into next weekend. I think as well it may show the United States where they may need to lock in and improve on the consistency perhaps in some of these other matches. Let's see if Brazil is able to take this map, if they can put a point on the board versus the United States with what I think is probably their best pick left in the pool. Even if this doesn't work out, I think this was still a good pick for Brazil.
Let's see who's the less shaky in this Hard Rock 2. Just beginning with a little bit of very easy jumps here, but until we get to the main part, it's a very short map, 2 minutes to be exact, 1 minute 52 seconds actually. But here we go into the section where you're going to see the doubles and the precision for the aim. There's no one breaks at all, and so we see something interesting. It's going to be accuracy lead for Brazil here by only 10k. Korean Malico first break, and it is pretty deep in the map as well. Bashi Man's going to trade that, so it is 2 FCs to 1, favoring the United States. And as we arrive to the last half of this map, it is going to be those 2 FCs, and Schwick needs to pull his weight, needs to get this point for Brazil here.
All right, let's see if Schwick can hold on here. Decaton and Pez needing a break on one of them. Izzy finding the break instead is not what Brazil needs here. And, you know, Schwick's FC really can only start to do work once there is a combo advantage for Brazil. And Decaton and Pez holding on to this double FC means there's still combo advantage for the United States. There goes Schwick as well. The nerves finally hit. You see him shake off the pattern. And it's just disaster for Brazil, man. The United States, what do you do against this? You know, you're a team in Brazil that is good at Hard Rock, that has multiple comfort Hard Rock players on your roster. Schwick and Korea Maluko are putting up fantastic accuracy scores, and it just does not matter because you have double 99s on Decaton and Pez with 700k each, and even their third best player is still matching your top scorers with 600k. Look at the combo on Bashi Man going into this ending, matching Schwick and Korea Maluko there at the end, 711k. He actually beat out all 3 of them as the bottom score for the United States as well. It's just team-wide, top-to-bottom domination. What can you do? And it's not even bad scores for Korea Maluko and Schwick, because you look at the scores from the USA and it's like, well, 1 miss, 2 miss, 3 miss, all pretty good accuracy. But that's Korea Maluko and Schwick as well. 2 miss and 1 miss on them. They had good scores. They're just outclassed in this matchup, and that's what happens when you face off against the top seed in the tournament.
Into a very, very unorthodox pick here for United States. Fremont 3 is going to be our possible last pick for this 6-0 sweep, possibly, if Brazil can't pull out anything. This map really has that aim control aspect in it. You're going to be staying on that circle size 3, but if you're grabbing that Hard Rock, you're going to be transferring yourself into that 3.9 circle size. And let's just get a little bit of a reminder of what the free mod rules are for this.
I believe it's just 1 hidden, 1 Hard Rock here.
1 hidden,
for
1 Hard Rock?
I'm pretty sure.
I believe so.
I may be wrong. One hidden or easy, and 1 Hard Rock or hidden Hard Rock. Your third player can go whatever they want. So we are going to get probably just a hidden and a Hard Rock, maybe a hidden Hard Rock here, comfort. We'll say we haven't seen too much of... I'm wondering, actually, sorry, I'm rephrasing this. I'm wondering if there's going to be some extra comfort hiddens on a map like this. CS3 with AR 9.4 is really, really dense, and it's dense in a way that hidden really helps out on, because there's a ton of pretty fast sliders in this map. They end up covering a lot of the screen, so if you can get the note density out of the way, or the slider density out of the way with hidden, it can really, really help with being able to read a map like this. So maybe we'll see a comfort hidden or hidden Hard Rock, extra hidden Hard Rock on somebody in this map.
Oh, there's even a timeout applied for Brazil, so I believe they're trying to pull out something out of this Fremont 3. The break point is possible. especially on a map like this one. It is kind of volatile, but it's when you're looking at players on United States, Taquito, Pez, Ethertrix, the aim control demons of our times in NA, you have a really hard roster to go up against. I mean, you hear in the song, it's going to be 2 minutes yet again, so very short map. You're going to see it and you'll miss it. Excuse me, you're going to blink and you'll miss it. But this is a map where it could go either way, and especially during the mid sections where it's definitely going to be the hardest parts. Combo could be score capping you pretty hard on this.
Got a timeout going for Brazil so that Korea Maluko could go take a sip of water, go chug a water bottle real quick, and employ the MREC method and start up the reverse sweep here against the United States. I don't know. We'll see, right? I think probably you're practicing this in solo if you are Brazil. You're hoping that the extra practice and remembering some of the more tricky patterns in this map will help you take a break point when you need it most, right? You're down 5-0. You may as well try, right? Try and start up the reverse sweep. It has to start here if it's going to start anywhere.
Are they good luck headphones? No. Yeah.
Nope.
I mean, you got 2 minutes. You could definitely look at the map twice with the amount of timer that has been passed. But I believe the players are coming back in. And you can see Pez and Decaton is here. For the free mod 3.
All right, here we go. Looks like rosters are pretty much in here. Taquito, Pez, Decaton for the United States. Likely a hidden and a double hard rock here. Or maybe a no-mod for Decaton. Definitely see him taking the no-mod there, but hidden for Taquito, hard rock for Pez for sure. Rimaluko, Schwick, and Takeo in for Brazil. Korean maybe on the hidden, actually? No, it's going to be Takeo on the hidden.
Oh.
And Schwick on the hard rock. Rimaluko just taking no-mod. And, of course, double hard rock for Decaton and Pez on the side of the United States.
Well, currently there is multiplier advantage for United States. It's going to keep them in the lead if nobody finds any uncharacteristic breaks. Korean Maliko first to break off the no-mod. The only no-mod in the lobby, so the hidden and the hard rock for Brazil staying strong. Gonna have to contest with the 3 FCs, but it is Korean Maliko to find more breaks, and usually you wouldn't see out of a player such as his caliber, but this map possibly has taken him a lot more effort due to the density of the no-mod reading and this large circle size. But now we get into the second third of the map, and it is still 3 FCs Dio with the 2 on Brazil.
Yeah, and there goes Schwick, and there goes Takeo, and there goes Korean as well, and it's a 3-way reset for Brazil, and 0 misses, 0 slider breaks for the United States at this point, halfway in, and it is 3 FCs to nothing, not even 200 combo for anyone on the side of Brazil, and I think it's over. Fat Lady, not just warming up her voice, but already starting to belt out some tunes for everybody on stage right now. It is looking real bad for Brazil in this one. And you know what? They had a couple of close maps as well, right? They had the Hard Rock 1 and 2 be pretty close into the United States in this match. But even on their own best picks that we saw, they were just outclassed. And this level of performance from the United States on this free mod 3 is really something else, man. Talk about outclass. This is outclassing everyone in the tournament right now. Over mod triple FC from the United States on this free mod 3. What do? You lose. You lose. That's what you do. You just lose.
Talk about belt to ass right there. What a DoorDash series that was in 3.04 million team score. And look at those accuracies, especially on hidden Taquito 600s. Give props to that score. That I don't even know what to say. That is a 6-0 sweep. That is something that you will possibly see in the future of this tournament, since United States have been looking so dominant in the course of this tournament already. In qualifiers in round of 16 it was a little shaky, but this quarterfinals proves that they are the favorites to win this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, again, what do? You lose your first pick by let me see here. Hold on. How much did they lose that first pick by? I just gotta see.
Like,
I just gotta see. They lost that by 1.2 million on a Nomad pick.
Oh, I'm thinking about Nomad 1.
Yeah, they lost Nomad 1 by $1 million as well. 130K on the Hard Rock 1, 380K on the Nomad 4 as well. Those were much closer. But then you get 500K on the Hard Rock 2 and 1.6 million on that Free Mod 3. It was not close. It was not close, unfortunately, for Brazil. They had a very close map in that Hard Rock 1, but that was it. The United States just playing extremely well in this matchup. And it wasn't even, bad scores necessarily for Brazil. It is just ridiculous team scores from the USA all across the pool. And that is going to be it for us. That is the end of all of the matches in the quarterfinals. We have the map pool showcase for semifinals tomorrow at 19 UTC, or rather today at 19 UTC. So that's in, 15-ish hours or so, something like that. So make sure to tune back in for that later on today, much later on today, or tomorrow for players in the US and Brazil. Exia, final goodbyes?
Yeah, I mean, what a DoorDash series that was. United States going against Canada. That's going to be a matchup that's going to be absolutely wild. The NA battle to see who, of course, is the better North American team. But anyways, that's everything that this matchup has to offer. 19 UTC tomorrow, Monday, for that semifinals map pool showcase. And that will be everything for us, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. Get some good rest, get some good sleep. And if you're just waking up, have a good, safe drive, and we'll see you again next time.